Hi there, my name is Kessia Kryn. I am a customer success manager with the CRM team, a Monday.com Silver Partner, and today I'm going to be taking you through a few of the Monday.com AI functionalities available. Over the course of this year and towards the end of last year, Monday.com has been releasing a wide range of some really cool AI tools. So today I'm going to be taking you through the basics, looking at the different types of functionalities and actions that are available, and then I'm going to take you through two separate use cases, very simple use cases, but hopefully use cases that give you a good idea of what is possible and help you think of maybe ways that you could use Monday AI in your day-to-day workflows. So to start off, I'm going to go through just the basics, looking at the building blocks and the different kind of functionalities that are possible and available with Monday AI. So if you click on the Add Column button and you go to More Columns, if you type in AI, this will now take you to a full list of all of the different functionality that is available for the AI kind of tool set. So if we kind of look through all of them today, I'm not going to be taking you through each and every one of the functions, but just to show you how many there are, I wanted to show you through and take you through this list. So you've got Write with AI, and this will work if you would like to maybe write an email, write a response to a customer, something along those lines. You can ask Monday AI to help you write the body of your email or write any kind of text that you are looking for. You have Detect Sentiment. So this is something that we will be talking about later on in this video. This will look at maybe a certain text and detecting the sentiment of that. So if you are dealing perhaps with customer queries, it's going to look if the sentiment is negative, positive, or neutral. They've got an AI translation. So this currently only a few languages are supported, not all of them, obviously. I think that would be quite tricky, but that is something that is also quite useful to have. We've got Extract Info, and this is something that I'm going to be talking about quite a lot today. So it's looking at either a body of text, it's looking at a picture, an image, any kind of source item, source document, source text that has text on it, you will be able to extract information from that. So the particular example that I'm going to be working with later on is looking at quotes. So if you have maybe quite a detailed quote process, or you're receiving lots of quotes per day, you can get Monday AI to extract all of the most important information for you and then sort those quotes into approved or denied or ready for actual processing. So you can filter out the ones that really are not the quotes that you're going to be accepting, and it will save you a lot of time. We've got assign labels and assign people. So based on various different rules that you set, it will set statuses and labels to items as well as assign people. So if you are dealing with support tickets, perhaps, you can type in the various different expertise of users within the Monday platform. And then when an item gets logged, based on the kind of source column that you've maybe used, that it can pick up what expertise will be needed, it will then automatically assign someone. They will get notified without any human kind of input once that item has been created. You've got extract from file. So that's kind of two separate things, but similarly just extracting information from a particular column. We've got summarization, which I'll also take you through. And yeah, so that's kind of just the basics of what is possible. And now I'm going to go through how you would actually go about using AI in a particular column or on a board. Perfect. So I've just created a new blank board over here. I've just created and called it new board. I'll be going into these two boards on the left-hand side in a bit more detail later on. But when you click add column, depending on the type of column that you've added, you will then be able to edit it and make that an AI column. For example, I'm just going to do text at the moment. And then if we click again on these three options, you will see autofill with AI. And that will apply to every single column that you have. All columns are supported by this AI functionality. So if we go into this text, I'm not actually going to be able to complete the instruction just because I don't have the actual information that I need on this board. I just want to show you kind of how it works so that it makes a bit more sense when I go into my actual examples in a moment. So now you can see, once we have clicked on that autofill with AI option, these are all of the AI actions that are possible with a text column. So you won't have all of these options for every column, obviously, because each is different. So it will just depend. So you won't necessarily have detect sentiment on a numbers column. Obviously, that's just common sense because you can't detect sentiment from a number. So if you are perhaps looking for a certain action and you're not finding it, it might just be because you have selected the wrong column and that is not supported for that particular column. So in the example of extract info, you would click on that action. Then you would choose what to extract. So you've got some standard kind of options here. If it's an email address, a name, a phone number, if there's a particular link in the document or text that you are wanting to analyze, then you can choose that. Or you can also choose custom info. So this is really nice in the case of quotes or invoices or any kind of document that you would like to be extracting information from. You can now go and say, please, can you extract the quote number? Or please, can you extract the value or the unit number or the product, anything like that. And the Monday AI will extract that for you and place it directly into your column. So you would input the instruction, and then you would choose where you're actually going to extract that from. So I don't have any demo data on this particular board, so I'm just going to exit out of the screen. That's kind of very briefly how you would set up your AI column. If you go into the date section here and we click on autofill with AI again, you can see here there's only two options that are supported in the date column, extract info or custom action. If we go into the status column, you can see we have assign label. So that is the only function or action that is supported on the status column. And this is what I was talking about earlier, where you can kind of just auto assign a status based on the various different rules and instructions that you have set. Awesome. So now I'm going to move on to the actual two examples that I have worked on. So the first one is going to be looking at quotes. So this, again, like I mentioned in the beginning, it's very simple examples that I've used. I've tried to use quite a wide range of the AI actions to give you a sense of what is possible, and hopefully you can then kind of put in your mind ways that it could work or be translated into your own day-to-day flows and work that you do. So looking at the quotes, just to kind of take you through how I've set it up, we've got the item, and this is just the actual quote that's going to be uploaded. We've got the file, and this is where the user would upload the quote document that's being sent through. You can also automate all of this by submitting a form or something like that, but I've just done it as manual. Then we've got a status column, and you can see this is the first column that we have with AI attached. So this little colorful star is an indication that we're using the autofill with AI functionality. So if we go in over here, this is showing so I'm assigning a label, and this is going to analyze the price shown in this column. So I've put these two instructions down here. If the value is above 20,000, set to denied, and if the value is below 20,000, set to approved. And that will then change the status automatically. So without anyone even having to come into Monday to look at the quotes to begin with, Monday can already kind of sort the quotes that you can look at and deny, or kind of scrap the quotes that aren't even something that's worth your time. So that is the first one. Then these three, actually all of these four, are using the extraction functionality. So if we go into the autofill with AI, I'm using the extract action. I'm extracting custom info, which would be the quotation number, and my source column is the files column, as you can see here. So it will highlight for you what column is being referenced there. So I'm going to save that. Then it's doing the same with the price, the date, and the supplier. So hopefully, if all goes according to plan, if I upload this quote, it will extract all of the information. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to say put 3. I'm going to go and upload my quote. That's not how you spell quote. Awesome. So I'm just going to click on this. I think it's just the same quote as these two, so the values won't differ, but I just want to show you how it's going to work. So now I've uploaded it. It's just going to take a few seconds, and then it should start hopefully filling in all the information. There we go. So you'll see it extracted the price, 24,000. Based on the rule that I set, it set it to denied. It's extracted the quotation number, the date, as well as the supplier. Again, you can see all of this is the same information just because it's just a demo quote that I got off the internet. But yeah, hopefully you can see how quick that is and how much time it can save compared to someone uploading a quote themselves, viewing the value or viewing the document, filling in the quotation number, filling in the price, filling in the dates, the supplier, based on that, then setting it to denied. Maybe then it needs to go to someone else to look, or then to actually maybe set it to approved or denied. And Monday can do it literally within 10 seconds. And that can just keep on going in the background as soon as someone uploads it. So a big time saver there, and hopefully something that you can maybe use in your workflows. So moving on to the second example, I've used an email inquiries use case. So this is looking at perhaps a customer service email that you have on your website where a client or potential client can send through an email if it's a complaint, if it's positive feedback, if it's maybe just a general query, if they're interested in services, anything like that. So they would send an email off, maybe support@companyname.com or whatever the case may be. Then using various automations and some AI actions, we can actually get that email to be sent straight through to the Monday updates. It can then extract the query, summarize the query, detect the sentiment of that query if it's complaint, general inquiry, or positive, and then based on the type, maybe there are certain people within the organization that deal with complaints. So then it will auto assign that person for the complaint. Or if you may be looking at general queries versus sales email, you can even have that kind of separation and assign the salesperson if it's a sales inquiry, and then assign a customer service exec if it's just a general query. So to go through how I have actually set that up, we have the items. This is going to pull through with just the subject line of the email. If we go through to my automations over here, when an email is received, and this is linked to just my personal email address. So when an email is sent to my email address, it is going to automatically create an item in new inquiries. So if you were going to use this example, you would just link the customer service email, the support email that's listed on your website as the email, as the kind of trigger email. And then once that email is sent, it's going to be posted as an update in the update section. So this is just a full body of the email, who it's coming from, the subject, and then the time that it was sent as well. So if we now go through to this query section, you can see we've got that autofill with AI set up there. Again, I'm using the extraction function. So I'm extracting the info. It's custom information, and I have given it the instruction, please extract the content in the email, not the subject line, but the content. And my source would be the updates, which is this little speech bubble over here. Then the second one, this is looking at the sentiment. So I actually have a hidden detect sentiment column that will just happen automatically. But then within this instruction, I have referenced that sentiment detection column. So you can't see it because it would just be kind of double information, but it is running in the background continuously. So here I'm using the assign label action. So we've got assign a label. The text we're analyzing is this query column, and the two different status options or label options that we have rather are complaint, positive feedback, so it's actually 3, or general inquiry. Then I've just put in my set of instructions over here. So it's if the detect sentiment column is negative, then set the type to complaint. If the sentiment is positive, set to compliment. And if the sentiment is neutral, then set to general inquiry. Perfect. So that's the type column. Then we've just got another extraction, just extracting the email. So if the user does need to, or not the user, rather the client or the potential client needs to be sent back an email, a resolution, or need to reach out to start the sales process, you do have a record of who that email came from. And then the last column over here is just a summary feature. So I am using the query column as the source, and I'm just saying, well, I've selected the summarize function, text to summarize, query, and I've just said summarize the main points in the query. So if it's maybe a particularly lengthy email, you don't want to have to read the whole thing, you can rather just, so you can see here, this is quite long. And if we hover over this, it has shortened it significantly, and it will just bring out the most important points. That's obviously what you would like to know. Okay, perfect. So now I'm actually going to run an example to show you how quickly and wonderfully it works. So I've got an email set up in another window. So I'm just going to send that off. So I'm sending it to my personal email. And it's going to be a complaint. Perfect. And I've sent that off. So hopefully now it will take a few seconds. It should load the line. We'll just give it some time. Perfect. So the subject line is unhappy with service provided. Now we just need to wait for it to populate into the updates. So you can see it's kind of loading in different batches. But this is the query that I sent through. Dear support, I'm writing to express my frustration with the service received by a team, etc. So now looking at that query, if we now hover over here, it's really summarized it quite nicely. It set it to a complaint. I'm just going to unhide the detect sentiment column so you can see what it looks like. That is what it looks like. This one was detected as negative, so then it set it to a complaint. And then if we go just lastly through to this person column, this is based on the type of complaint. So Jan is responsible for complaints, Lavoya for general inquiries, and me for positive feedback. So then dependent on that type that comes through, it will auto assign it for us. And that, you can see it happens within max 1 minute, probably about 30 seconds. That's all come through. And you can just send out, or you can set up, okay, maybe someone comes and looks at the inquiries that have come through once a day. All of the emails that have been sent through will be logged in the background. They'll just get a notification maybe when something comes through. They can go and have a look and then action whatever needs to be actioned. Instead of going through a whole email, trying to figure out what the problem is, maybe it's getting in contact with the right person to deal with it. Whereas here, it's all visible. And yeah, it just really is a lot more efficient. So that's all from me. I hope that this is something that's exciting to you, something that maybe can save you time. And if you do have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out. Thanks so much.